My name is Nashoba. So recently with this whole argument with who should and shouldn't be at Pride, celebrating their lives, their sexualities, and what makes Pride Pride, this argument has been going on for the last 5-6 years that I can remember by people who've either never been to Pride or say they've been to Pride but are lying out their ass. I have to get this off my chest because I am sick and tired of people who don't know their LGBT history trying to tell the LGBT people who are actually part of the community who fight for LGBT rights still to this day how to conduct themselves and how to behave at their own event where one time a year they can be open about who they truly are. That does not make them assholes. That does not make them racist. That does not make them rapists or pedophiles, according to some bread tubers out there who are just living up this terrible, terrible homophobic, heteronormative, heterosexist hype train to bag on people who are in the kink community.
Hey kids, it's really important for the queer community to remember that Pride is not a kinky event. It is a celebration of love, not about sex, and if you show up in leathers, you are a danger to children. And Vosh fucking defends this. Ooh boy, I'm about to get mad. I'm malding. I am. Look at this. Oh God.
If you believe that kink people shouldn't be at Pride, then you should not be at Pride. Because if it wasn't for the kinksters out there who are intertwined and unbreakably intertwined, I should say, to LGBT and the LGBT movement, you wouldn't fucking be here being able to have that opinion. You would be in the similar situation of Chechnya that's going on right now, or if we want to go back about 60, 70 years, you would be in the concentration camps in Auschwitz or in other areas of Germany. So be thankful that you're not in those situations, because us kinksters got you there, you little fucking ungrateful prick. If you so believe that these are supposed to be safe spaces for underage children, wearing gear, like leather, like a pup hood, like a fursuit, especially a fucking fursuit, is not inherently sexual. You make it sexual in your mind. You are the one who project that onto them.
Can someone tell me how this is sex? And how if someone were to witness this, it would be sexual assault? Does anyone know how?
And most of the people in the kink community aren't doing things with their stuff at the time in the public. And anyone then using the strawman argument and the red herring argument that they're waving and helicopter dicking themselves around in front of children is dishonest and no more reactionary than a right-wing idiot who is trying to drum up views.
Hey, are you sad that 50 pedophiles were killed today? No, I think that's great. I think that helps society.
If you are on the left or liberal or even a centrist, or a libertarian for that matter, and you're banging on this narrative, maybe you need to look yourself in the mirror and wonder if you really are who you think you are. Because you are not part of us, that's for sure. You are not part of the LGBTQ plus community. You are a person who is trying to cause dispersion and also cause division amongst our own people. You are trying to erase the people who created Pride. You are trying to erase the people who give you the fucking rights that you have today. That being said, for those of you out there who are curious or wondering about Pride, Pride is an event for everyone, especially adults. And when I say everyone, I don't mean underage children who their parents are afraid to explain to them what is going on. Pride is not meant to be for straight people. It is not meant to be for people who don't understand LGBT culture, LGBT families, or LGBT history. It is not meant for them. Pride is for us. And when we say it's for all LGBT in the LGBT culture, in the LGBT world. It is not for straight people. It is not for people who are uncomfortable. It is most certainly not for people who hold tradcon views, who believe that they have a right to dictate how we should act in our own fucking venues. So if you have a problem with Pride and you have a problem with people being able to express themselves at Pride, then here's my advice. Don't go, get the fuck out, and don't let the door hit you on the fucking way out, princess. I am so tired of seeing people especially on the left, absorb these right-wing, anti-gay, heterosexist talking points and then try to shove them down the throats of gay people.
Yeah, people don't know what to do with Mardi Gras because they know it's a parade that is heavily inclusive of people of color. People of color are heavily represented in Mardi Gras parades, and it's a venue of multiculturalism and sharing the culture of music. And it's also a venue where people are draping their big old smilkers over the balcony and getting fucking shit thrown at them. So people don't want to argue against it. See, it's just like, it's so much easier to moralize with queer people, isn't it? So much easier to argue that queer people should have to fucking adjust their standards so that people don't get offended than it is to argue that black people should adjust their standards at Mardi Gras so people don't get offended. Isn't it so much simpler?
And then they try to hide behind arguments of assimilation and everything else. I'm sorry, but we can assimilate while still having power. Assimilation means giving the dominant culture power over us. Fuck that. No. The dominant culture bends to us for all the horrors they've done to us throughout the generations, the fucking millennia, and then some.
Throughout much of the 20th century, gay men and women were involuntarily committed to psychiatric facilities by their families in hopes of getting the gay out.
They used drugs, they put people into comas, they used electroconvulsive shock treatment.
Lobotomy was another brutal procedure intended for all sorts of mental disorders. This tool was used by Dr. Walter Freeman. Typically, this removed any personal drive, but often left patients severely disabled. Of the thousands of lobotomies Freeman performed, roughly 40% were on homosexuals.
Pride is a middle finger to the church and to the bigots out there who have told us how evil and sick we are for simply loving one another. And kinksters were the only ones at the time who had the ovaries and the balls, or neither, to fucking fight for us. So before you go out there and trying to erase the people who made our world today possible, remember, you're not fucking welcome if you believe that. Either way, that's my 2 cents into this whole argument, and if you don't like it, then go fuck yourself, because I'm sick and tired of having this argument. I'm an old gay at this point. I'm tired of having to have the same argument every fucking year with little children who don't understand the world around them. And I'm calling even people who are 30 years old little children because they don't fucking learn or read about LGBT history. And finally, for anyone out there who's going to try to use pride has evolved, no, it hasn't. The world hasn't changed. It is just as bad as it was before.
Marquise Kiki from Troy was 21 years old. Bree Black was 27. They're just two in a longer list of victims reportedly targeted for their sexual identity and murdered in South Florida.
Sure, we have a few extra rights now, but horrors are still happening to our people across the entire world. Pride is a protest. It is a fucking riot against the establishment that tries to hurt us. What you are doing is you're sucking the fucking dick, licking the boots and asshole of the corporate world that wants to sterilize and pink wash and gay erase, or I should say LGBT erase, pride, so that they can sell their merchandise and sell you some bullshit fucking slogan that they care about you, when the next fucking politician who gets in who's a right-wing shithole, they'll just switch to his side. So there you go. When people say fuck corporations out of the pride, this is what they mean. Corporations don't care about you. Don't fucking fall for their narrative, and don't believe the bullshit bread tubers out there who are trying to tell you pride is supposed to be for straights as well. It is not. It is for gay people. It is our house, and those people are guests. And if they don't want to follow the rules of the house, they can get the fuck out.